don't show up today, I don't know what I'm going to do. God, if you don't save my family, I don't know it. Oh God, if you don't take this pain and this distress, God, I can't go another day, another moment. Oh Lord, I pray from a deep heart, Lord, do it today. And then by the way, don't just leave God out there with a question, then begin to pray with an answer. Oh Lord, I thank you, it's already done. I thank you, you have saved my family, touched my life. God, I thank you that it is already. Why don't you just take a few moments and thank God that it is already done? Oh, come on, get passionate about it. Can you see it over your life? It is done. Enter into a passionate place with God, not soft, weak, and inebriated, but God, I know if you don't, God, I don't know what I will do. And God, see, when your relationship, I said Wednesday, there's a difference between angry prayer and passionate prayer. There's a difference between demanding and out of relationship. God looks and says, I know that's agony. Remember I showed you that video from the guy in New York that prophesied many things. He talked about agony. Give us an agony of the heart. What we've seen on the news for 4 days should give us agony. And he prayed so deeply and intimately to the Father that he's sweating. He's in another world. This will go on to point number 3. It'll be the last point I'll give before we close out and actually give us all a chance to seek God. At times, number 3, we are to cry out when we pray. Another thing that often lacks in our prayer is that I do every once in a while, and I'm blessed. We are blessed here in the church because I unfortunately think that we might be the exception and not the rule. If you come in an altar at a certain day or certain Sundays or Wednesdays, if you go by the prayer room, you will hear people crying out to God. That takes it up. I didn't break down all the Hebrew and Greek like the speaker did, but he studies it out. And he starts with the first Hebraic word in prayer, and he takes it up to the last. And he does this diagram, and it shows that every time prayer is mentioned, the word changes, and it gets more passionate. And the same with the Greek. Now he's this crying out, getting so deep that we cry out to God. Watch this. Look what Jesus did. Matthew 27:46. Jesus is on the cross and he cries out, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. Hear what he's doing there? He's crying out, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. Father, why have you forsaken me? He's in a deep place with God. He's crying out. He's passionate, but it's beyond passion. See, I went to another step. We can be passionate. We can hit our hands over the desk and over the furniture and over the counter and over the pulpit. But now he's in a deep place. He's no longer passionate. It's even deeper now. He's crying out. He's saying, Father, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? It is a deep place in which he's in. Let's look at some other people who've cried out to the Lord. Let's look at Mark chapter 10, verse 46 through 52. It says this, Now they came to Jericho. And as he went out to Jericho with his disciples and a great multitude, blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, sat by the roadside. And he was begging. And then he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth. And he began to cry out. What did he begin to do? What are we talking about? 1, 2, 3. Cry out. 1, 2, 3 again. He cried out. He began to cry out unto the Lord. And here's what he's saying. Imagine this. Imagine a crowd, 1,000, wall-to-wall capacities. Every seat is full. Every crevice of this building is full. There's people on every side. There's barely enough room to even have somebody pass by. How in the world is Jesus going to see blind Bartimaeus in a crowd of thousands? Many people are reaching for him. Many people are praying and talking to him. And you know what he said? I'm going to get a hold of God one way or the other before I leave. If nothing else, Jesus is going to know who blind Bartimaeus is. And he walks down the road and he begins to cry out to him. He cries out loudly. He says, Jesus, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. Can you hear this in your mind? I like to visualize things. Go to the next screen, please, verse 48. He's cried out desperately, deeply, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. He's crying out passionately again, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And somebody goes over and says, hey, Bartimaeus, you got to tone that down a little bit. We don't worship like that here. We don't pray like that here. We don't talk to God like that here. And blind Bartimaeus had a choice. Would he keep seeking after God? Or would he quiet his passionate plea? And he answered in a way that I hope you and I answer if we're ever in a place when somebody tells us not to seek God. The Bible said he took it up a notch louder and he cried out, Jesus, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. You know what he was telling all those people in the room or in that crowd that was telling him to be quiet? He was telling them, you don't know where I'm at. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know the cost right now. You don't know how I've been along this road begging every single day. You want me to be quiet? You don't know my story. You know what I want to tell somebody who looks at you when you're praying and worshiping and tell you to turn? You don't know what I've been through. You don't know where I'm going. You don't know the desperate plea of my heart. Sometimes when somebody looks at you cross-eyed